I look all right, sure enough.
Sure enough, you do. Sure enough, you do.
These pants look blue, but they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, they are. They're blue jean.
Well, I know that, but they don't look like that. I got a pair of them other blue.
They're blue jean.
Okay, whatever.
Blue jean, baby. L.A. lady.
Oh, that's the two.
You know what L.A. stands for? Lower Alabama, right? Except you're Upper Alabama.
Yeah, I left the bathroom. I mean the kitchen and the other fan on in case something went wrong before she would have air.
Hey, Maw Maw Luv.
Oh, I'm not looking. I look like a monkey.
You don't look like a monkey. Well, you do kind of look like a monkey.
I do an old monkey.
An old
One
monkey.
that does like that.
An old chimpanzee.
An old monkey gets something, gets her little babies. You know that?
Just don't be throwing nothing on me. You know, they're bad to poop and throw.
Yeah, I know they are.
Just don't be throwing nothing.
Don't worry, I couldn't find it nowhere because my eyes is all out of whack.
Well, we're going to the eye place today. Hey, while we're there, working on me, we're going to make your appointment and we'll get them to adjust those glasses while we're there today.
These glasses are beautiful, I don't think.
No, they might be good, but we probably can get you a... Woo, I tell you, we're having a time getting all of our appointments in, aren't we? I don't... There's not time for me to be sick.
Hey, do you remember how it was when y'all was all little?
No, I don't.
Didn't have time to...
I don't remember that.
Hey, I didn't have time to go to the bathroom.
I don't remember that.
And,
well, that's your fault. You're the one that had all the fun and had all the babies.
Well, I know that it was fun.
It's your fault. I didn't have anything to do with that. I was innocent where that was concerned. Wasn't me. Seatbelt, Mary Faye.
Me and your daddy was into it.
Seatbelt, Mary Faye.
Okay. I knew there was something lacking, but I couldn't remember whether it was a kid I'd lost or...
Ooh, this blue shirt makes my football shoulders show up today in this camera. Thank you. It's got balls on it.
Well, a lot of people's got balls.
See?
Yeah.
See the cute little balls hanging down?
You got them in a different place or something.
Yeah, it's got cute little balls on it. But anyway, we're going for my eye exam. I'm ready to have a day just stay home. You hear me? I just want to stay home.
Had to be fixed on us all the time.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But my head's feeling better. I'm going back to the chiropractor after I take your butt home today.
You're going to dump me all about the road down there?
I get her out every chance I can get.
And I've been in there for a while.
Yeah, she's been in. She's been in several days.
And I've tried to do something, keep him going slap crazy.
Dana's real good to take her off, and he's in Gatlinburg, so...
Is he still up there?
Yeah. He didn't go till he left Saturday.
That's right.
And then he's coming back Thursday, him and Terry, but then he's taking the youth from our church to Atlanta Friday to
he can just
driving the bus
run me nuts
over there. He is an excellent bus driver. He drove the choir tours that I was talking about. You would not believe the places. He couldn't drive like that now. He's had a bad back injury, and he can drive short trips. He couldn't drive those big trips like he used to, but he could take those buses into places that nobody else could maneuver. People would tell him he's the best bus driver. And I mean, I always rode his bus. I was not worried when Dana drove our bus. Of course, if you rode the bus with me, you were guaranteed that that would be the bus that would break down or the air would quit working on it. It just happened every time. You didn't go on choir tour unless the bus broke down. So that was just par for the course. Well, I got a story to tell on Mother.
What have I done?
Let me tell you about this woman. We go the other day. I did not feel good at all, but I had to go pick up some medicine, and she needed to go to Dollar General get a few things, and so we decided to go to a little local restaurant and get something to eat. And so these men had come in And so they were nice. One of them was very nice looking.
Pretty, absolutely pretty.
He was pretty. I will say he was pretty. He was probably in his 50s, I would think. Probably 50s. He was a very attractive man. And she had commented, because Mother likes pretty men.
Oh, I love men, period.
She loves them from afar. That's the way she likes them.
Do,
and so, I go back up to the counter to get us a refill on our tea, and when I come back, she has both men at our booth captivated. They are standing there talking to her, and I mean, they are just like right in her face talking to her. And I said, I came back and I said, well, hello. And they're like, hello. And I'm like, I cannot leave her for 5 minutes. I think they were on their way out. What did you say to them to stop them?
I can't remember. It was too important. I can't remember it now. Probably something that I shouldn't have been.
And I'm telling you, when I sat down, the good-looking one, he was grinning at me.
He was pretty, wasn't he?
And normally I said something, you know, she'd already told him she was 91. Of course, I looked pretty sad.
You did. You told that. I didn't.
No, you'd already told it.
I was going to tell him I was 30.
You better shoot for 50 or 60. But so I said, so did she tell you she's 91? He said, she did. I cannot believe it like that. Well, normally, in normal circumstances, I follow and say, well, would you, I mean, most people don't think that I'm 62, but that day he was so darn cute, I didn't tell him.
He was a doll. Now,
he had a head full of thick black hair with gray on the side, and but I kind of think he knew he was cute, don't you?
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He didn't have a wedding band on, but I did.
Hey, he could make you climb a tree.
Make you climb a tree. Couldn't make me climb no tree. I'm gonna tell you something. John Light is so good. He has his contrary ways, just like we all do. But it would be impossible to follow up with anybody behind him.
That's the truth.
It would be. It would be.
Because he's good to everybody.
He is so good-hearted and so good-minded. And this wouldn't be nobody ever to follow him. I'm just telling you. Just wouldn't be. But, of course, you know, you do admire good pieces of jewelry.
Yeah, you do. And all my jewelry is laying in the sack.
All your jewelry's in the drawer getting rusted in it. But I got so tickled when I turned around and saw those two guys standing there laughing and cutting up with her, because they were nowhere near our booth when I left.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
I don't know what she said to them to get them stopped there, but she definitely did. And then they stood there and kept talking to her and kept talking to her. Well, and the guy actually looked very familiar. And I said, you look so familiar. And the younger guy that was with him, he said, does he look like a preacher? And I said, yeah, he kind of does. And I said, are you a Church of God preacher? And he said, no. Kind of got the feeling that he was pretty far from that. And so I said, are you affiliated with the college system? And he said, no, he was some kind of salesman. And so I told Mother, I said, he probably gets flirted with a lot. But this one right here, this little beauty sitting right here, had him totally captivated. And he was enjoying himself when I got there.
You got to know what to talk about.
You got to know when to hold them.
I see my girls.
Hey, Mother was a charmer and a beauty in her days. Well, I think she's still beautiful. But my mother was beautiful when she was younger.
Yeah, and she was not much camp. All she done was have youngins.
Well, it's okay.
But that was what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. My daddy just didn't appreciate her beauty inside and out. It's the only thing. But she has been a lady throughout her whole life. You know, she had, let me just tell you this. Yeah, okay. She had many opportunities. My daddy wasn't good to her a lot.
He provided for her.
He provided good, but he wasn't good to her a lot. When he was unsaved, and when he was saved, he wasn't always good to her. And she had many opportunities to stray, because she was quite gorgeous, but she didn't. And that's a strong woman, and I feel like that's where I get a lot of my strength from. Her and my grandmother were both strong women, and I'm raising a strong daughter. And I talked to my daughter about the values of life. When Ashley started to work at the hospital, I told her, I said, now Ashley, you are gorgeous. You don't even realize how gorgeous you are. And I said, there will be doctors and male nurses and techs, and you will work closely with them in life-changing situations. You know, when you work with a person very closely day in and day out, you can develop a relationship with them. And if you're not careful, you can form a bond with them that you don't mean to form. And I told her, I said, you always remember, that's work, and you got a husband at home. And that's where people go wrong, because listen, I've worked a lot of places, and I can, you know, there's people that you can just be physically attracted to. There's just people that you can be physically attracted to, but doesn't mean that you have to give in to that physical attraction. You know, it's just like, I can be physically attracted to a chocolate cake. But it doesn't mean I can have that whole chocolate cake.
Well, I never looked at a cake that way. That was not what I was looking for.
But seriously, you know there are things that are good for you, and you know there are things that are bad for you. I mean, but when it comes to another man, where you can have one piece of a chocolate cake, you can't even have any of another man, you know. And that's what I tell my Bible study girls. Women hold that power.
I do.
We hold that power that we can start an affair or stop an affair from ever happening. Or if you're involved in something you're not supposed to be involved in today, you have the power to stop it. You know, we have that power. And through God, with His strength, we have even more power. And but this one right here, that is one bull-headed, strong woman.
I just believe what I believe.
That's right.
I do.
And you believe in, I mean, even though you've been beat down mentally, physically, emotionally, and even spiritually, you knew what you believe. You knew what your core. And isn't it funny how you knew what your core system was when you really never was taught a strong core system? Isn't it odd?
It's a good feeling, though.
It is.
To have men friends
that respect you.
Treat you. I had one or two that was undoubtedly the best man I ever saw in my life. We was friends until the day he died. And I mean, that was it. I didn't even go up and doctor him.
She did.
Yeah. And he had never married. And
he was a millionaire, dadgummit. I wished you had done just enough to get a little bit of money. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, honey, his mama done told him where to put that.
But they were just lifetime friends, and she did. She helped doctor him, you know, and he needed a friend.
He needed a bandage.
But women and men have to set boundaries for their friends. You know, women and men can be good friends, but there's boundaries. And when you start feeling like, you just know when boundaries are being crossed.
You get to feeling different.
You do. You do. And I'm going to tell you, text messaging, a woman shouldn't text message a man without her husband knowing it. Should not do it. But men and women do not need to text message each other without the husband and wives knowing it. And really, you know, it should only be if it's about something absolutely necessary. I don't intend to get on John's phone and there'd be messages from women on there. I would not appreciate that at all.
Last long, would it?
No, wouldn't last long.
John would never do that.
No, wouldn't last long.
Man that loves his mother.
You know, you remember the woman that called him after we were married?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, John had dated this woman, and she was separated. And he thought she was divorced. And she said she was separated going through a divorce. That's what she told him. And they dated for about a month. Well, then she goes back to her husband, and he said, what do you mean you're going back to your husband? You told me you were going through a divorce. And she said, well, we were going to divorce. He said, no, you told me you were going through a divorce. And so basically she just lied to him. And so after he and I started dating, she called him back. She was divorced. And he said, well, I'm dating somebody. And she said, you know, well, she was divorced and she hated that she had messed it up, blah, blah. And he said, well, I'm very happy I was there that night. After we got married, she called him back. She called him at work one day. And he told her, he said, well, I'm married now. And listen to what question number 2 was. Well, are you happy?
Uh-oh. What was she going to do about it?
So being married was not an issue to her. Are you happy? And he said, well, yes, I am, as a matter of fact. Well, if you ever get to the point where you're not, let me know. Oh, after what I'd been through in the first marriage, I was ready to pull her head off. And so John told me, he said, Suzanne, I handled it this time. If she ever calls me back, you can have her. Well, she didn't, because he promised me I could have her. Okay, we're going to get an eye exam. I'm going to get an eye exam. Praying for good results. Kind of feel like my prescription's going to change, but I'm not sure. And got to go vote today for local elections for sheriff of our county. Y'all, me and one of my other friends did not vote last time. I didn't get out of the house that day, and the guy that we wanted to win for sheriff lost by 2 votes. If he had had 2 more votes, he wouldn't have been in the runoff. I feel so bad. So I gotta go vote, and then I'm going to the chiropractor. So anyway, Mama and I might be back on here in a little bit, but if not, y'all have a great day. Aren't y'all glad to see this flirting woman over here?
Hey,
she may be 91, but she ain't lost her touch.
I know, but I do at home. I feel like I've lost it. It's under the bed or somewhere.
I gotta go by and get my umbrella. You've lost your touch, and it's under the umbrella. It's under the
bed.
Under the bed.
I've lost it.
Well, it's because you ain't got nobody to flirt with at home.
I know. I sure ain't know what's television.
Mama, I still tell you I need to put you on a dating site.
You ain't putting me on nothing. He'd have to tell me how to walk and where to go.
We could get you a good-looking 70-year-old man.
70? My God, he'd be a kid in my book.
Mama, that's the new thing.
And you get a 91-year-old man, he's hobbling around in
No, you wouldn't want no 90-year-old man.
I don't want one. No, man.
You just want to look at them from afar.
I like to look at them little ones and young ones. They're gorgeous. But I tell you, I can't hardly get my eyes decorated over there for looking at that pretty thing's doing it.
Well, tell her bye.
Bye.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.